Apparently, I'm just talking. Ooh, shoot. Apparently, I'm just yapping away to myself. Sorry about that. Sorry I was a little late. Had to do something. Obviously, I didn't get everything set up before I noticed you in there, and I tried to preemptively jump in. Sorry about that. Thanks for getting my back on that. Stochastic does want to pull back on the daily for Dixie. RSI is pulling back. Momentum does want to round away. We do have a red dot. That VWAP does want to break into the bearish territory, and money flow is pulling back. So we could get that rejection. I would watch. That could invalidate that double bottom that we did cover yesterday. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a possibility for this to be a descending channel. I would watch as the highs and lows are starting to connect pretty well, and a descending channel can push you up. If Dixie does push up and then continues, we could see our Bitcoin and other crypto industry kind of pull back. Remember, Dixie is usually inverse to crypto, so if it pushes up, crypto likely would sell off. So I would watch. This could be a temporary push up. Watch for confirmation. Remember, you want that third touch to the top, a break up, and then a bounce forward. So you want to see that break up, a pull back, and then a continuation forward for a healthy move forward. If we just rip up, then it's likely we would crash down. That would be the more ideal scenario for crypto, because that would mean crypto could push forward, but you don't want that quick move on either, because usually quick moves are corrected. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory. Momentum is pushing forward. We have a double green dot, and money flow is gaining strength. So we do look positive here. Watch that VWAP. It needs to break away if we're going to see crypto continue inversely pushing up. So over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we are continuing forward. So this is positive. Our highs and lows are starting to not connect in this area. So that could be trying to make a bullish continuation. That would try to invalidate our rising channel. Watch very close as we approach the top. And again, watch for confirmation where you get that breakout, a pullback, a retest, and a push forward, as that would mean Bitcoin would do better than our altcoins usually. Remember, that's all dominance really means. RSI and Stochastic are pushing, VWAP is pushing, money flow is in the green, so we do look decent here. Over on total, remember this is all of our altcoins besides Bitcoin. We are trying to push forward in response to our quick sell-off. So I would watch. If we get a confirmation here, we could continue. We did push toward the top of that golden pocket like we said to watch out for. So we are trying to make a bit of a rounding bottom. Watch if this can continue. If we can stay above this previous consolidation range from that bear market breakdown, then we could see continued momentum toward that 674 and see our altcoins make a run. Momentum does want to pull back though. VWAP is favoring bearish, Stochastic is pulling back, and RSI is weakening. So if this continues, most of our altcoins are likely going to sell off. Remember, total does usually lead altcoins. Sometimes there's outliers. DAG did push ahead of the market yesterday. Now it's losing against the market. So over on the 1 hour on total, we have higher highs and higher lows. So this is a bullish continuation after breaking and holding that 300 EMA. This is very positive. That can continue to push us forward, so watch for a continuation toward the top of that golden pocket, and then we would want to break and hold above that golden pocket if we're going to continue higher. Our VWAP does have lower highs though, so keep an eye for lower lows. If we see lower lows, we could reject this cross forward. Watch for a retest too, as we did just break forward. You want to pull back, get that retest, bounce forward, and that would be your confirmation of a run up. Momentum does want to pull back. We have a red dot. RSI is pulling back. Stochastic is starting to sell off. So again, watch that VWAP. It could start to pull us back. And as total does lead most of the altcoins, it could lead them lower. So over on futures, so the daily, we did try to break that 69K and we got rejected here. We can cover Ali for you in a minute, hot rail hype. So we did get rejected here. Stochastic is pulling back, but we have a bullish cross. Keep an eye on that. If that bullish cross can maintain, then we could still bounce forward. RSI is going to stagnate here, so watch that Stochastic. If it breaks down, RSI could lead price lower. Momentum does want to round, but we have a green dot here as that VWAP is crossing bullish. Watch if that VWAP stays bullish. If we get higher highs with higher lows from here, we could continue further, and money flow would remain in the green, and we would continue to push up. So over on the 1 hour, we did get that same break of our 300 EMA. Then we ripped through our EMA band. But that's not very good because we do have several gaps in doing so. We have one around that 66.7 and one around this 67.5. So I would watch for a rejection here and then fill those gaps. That would be positive though if we fill the gaps and bounce, because we could still make a higher low and then continue for a higher high to break that 69K, then continue forward toward our 71K range. Remember, this is a rising channel though, So if we do approach that range, watch for a rejection as we could end up selling off again. So we do currently have a lower high. I would also watch that because it's lower high here with the, rejecting the 69K. If we follow and fill that gap and then continue lower below that 65K, that's where we could see this channel play out. So those are the two kind of scenarios you want to watch here. Our stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is starting to flatten out, but if stochastic drops away, RSI will follow. VWAP does want to break down. We have very similar lower highs here. Our money flow does want to push up, so we do look like we're on edge. I would, again, watch this range. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, if I can get my mouse to move over, we are on, Bitcoin. We did have that head and shoulders on the lower time frames that did lead us higher. We will cover that shortly. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI wants to push forward. Momentum is gaining strength. Our VWAP does want to break that neutral, and money flow is trying to break forward. So this does look positive here, providing lower time frames can stay bullish. So we did have that inverted head and shoulders. We did mention it could break that neckline. That's why we left that neckline for our double top, and we are seeing a continuation forward. That is very positive, and we could continue bullish momentum as long as this VWAP can stay bullish. We do have lower highs. Money flow is bullish, so watch that VWAP very close here. I am going to delete all these patterns if I can get that head and shoulders. We do have a bullish continuation going on with higher highs and higher lows, so as long as that VWAP can stay bullish, we can see this continue forward. But if that VWAP starts to favor bearish here, it is breaking with a slightly lower high and lower low, so watch for a continuation down. If that VWAP gets a continuation down, momentum will reject with that red dot, and then we would start to pull back. Again, watch for a lower low because this could be a lower high in that bigger rising channel possibility. So we will cover Ali real quick for you. So Ali BTC USDT, there we go. The Alice, my neighbor Alice, not sure what this coin is. This is just a request, so let me know if there's anything you want to explain about the coin or any reason it interests you at this moment. So over on the daily, it does look like we do have some pretty decent history on this coin. It did fall off a cliff when it IPO'd, but that was back in 2021, right around where the bear market did occur. This is a pretty decent consolidation range I would watch. We could pump forward, providing the rest of the altcoins can gain some hype here. We did reject that 300 EMA though. So ethereal liquid intelligence is what this is based off. We do have a higher high, we do have some higher lows, so we are trying to make a bullish continuation. Watch for this to continue. If that continues, we could try to retest that EMA and see these lower EMAs continue to push forward. If those lower EMAs can break that 300 EMA, then we could see a bullish break forward and see a run up. This really doesn't have too much of a way to measure a bullish continuation, so we really can't call much out for where it could break to. We do have consolidation zones that we do have from previous history though. So we do have the current one of this 136, 1.306 that is. So I would watch that area. We could break that and then try to push, I would say, somewhere around this 1615. That would be a lot of bullish momentum though. We did retest that 140 just recently, so I would watch those two zones. Oh, this is the wrong coin. Sorry about that. So ethereal liquid intelligence. I am not getting that to pop up. Here we go. Ali crypto artificial liquid intelligence. Maybe that's what you were trying to say. Oh, geez. Yeah, penny ones are fun, especially one that looks like Morse code like this. Is this the, I think this is your proper one. So this did IPO in 2023, again near the bear market. I have not seen that many like dash bodies in a row. This is a very interesting coin on the daily. It's going to be pretty hard to do TA on this coin, but we do have some sort of trend that you can observe. We do have this kind of like consolidation. We try to rip up, we get a consolidation and a rejection down. So what you want to watch for is if we get a rejection here, if we see some red candles, it's going to be hard to see on the daily. Might have to trade based on lower time frames here because these daily candles don't really move much for a few days. Then it just rips out nowhere or dumps out nowhere. Momentum does want to round away. We do have a red dot. VWAP is breaking bearish, so I would keep an eye on that. If that VWAP continues to push down, then we may see a continuation downward, so that may give us that continuation of that trend, or we get that kind of sideways momentum, then just snap down, then get some more sideways momentum. So over on the 1 hour, we pretty much don't have much going on here either. It just looks like a bar chart almost, really hard to read. Really hard to do any analysis because price really doesn't move except very suddenly here. That money flow is heavy in the bearish territory. That RSI just looks insane with a flat line here. That RSI is just goofed up. Our stochastic's nowhere to be found. VWAP is trying to break bullish though. Momentum is holding bullish. So I would watch. If that VWAP can stay bullish, we could push forward, but that VWAP does tend to spike up too. Let's see if there's any action on the no, not even the 30 minutes. So do we have any lower time frames here? Let's see, the 3 minute. Usually I would not go on the, even on the, we don't care. Even on the 3 minute, you just get like these big quick spikes and everything. So it's very hard to even analyze this. Again, I would just watch this daily overall trend. I would say we could see a continuation of a breakdown, but we are seeing those lower EMAs continue to push up. So that VWAP is trying to hold bullish. It's hard to say if it'll continue further because the way the lower time frames trade, this does look like it just kind of something that happens. It would be easier to analyze a zone kind of like this where you're getting more movement. The rest of the coin just seems kind of flat here. So I would watch very close. If that VWAP can break a bullish trend and hold, there are times where it does run forward. We could see that. That would be what we would need to see a decent move toward those regions that we did cover. Lower time frames, again, not very helpful. This 1 hour, we are technically seeing our EMA bands break above. They are starting to curl though, so I would watch. Remember, as the EMA bands curl and they get closer, if the higher EMAs like the black and the gray get above the green and the yellow, then bears can gain control and start to push us down. So you do want to see these lower EMAs continue above, them getting tight like this could be a signal we may start to see a push down. But again, no guarantee with the way this thing moves. Sometimes the momentum can run up and then it just kind of flattens out. So we are seeing momentum run up. Watch if it starts to kind of stagnate and then flatten out. So I hope that was helpful. That coin again was very hard to kind of read because it does just have sudden movements. Honestly, for me, I would not trade in something like that. I'm not big into just big sudden movements that you can't really analyze, as it makes it harder to determine which way you could go. So over on graph for the daily, if I can get the words out, we are trying to break forward. We did break that 13,316, so that is positive, but we have a manipulation X, and this is technically a lower low. So if lower time frames see a rejection, we could still see a breakdown and still see a double top play out. Momentum does want to break away. VWAP is breaking down. We do have lower highs with lower lows. Momentum is breaking away, and money flow is breaking into the red, so I would watch that VWAP. If that VWAP continues to push down, it's likely we could continue lower here. Get rid of that. Don't know why that popped up. So over on the 1 hour, we do have a bit of a bullish continuation with higher highs and higher lows that do not connect. We do have some gaps to the downside that did not fill though, so I would exercise caution here. Even though we're pushing up, it does leave me kind of worrisome. Remember, gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill. Stochastic does want to pull back as well. We have a bearish cross. RSI is starting to pull back, so I would watch. If we do not bounce off this EMA or a 316, then we could end up breaking away. We do look like we are starting to get some sort of a rising channel out of this bullish continuation. So again, watch for that because that could break us lower and cause us to push up toward the 300 EMA and then get a rejection. Momentum does want to round. VWAP is starting to break down, but we did have some significant highs. Watch if we can get a bounce here. Momentum does want to remain bullish, but it's starting to curl, so again, watch that VWAP close. If that VWAP breaks down and gets lower lows and stays below our neutral, money flow will remain red, and we will see higher time frames continue lower. So over on Ankr for the daily, we did reject that point control. We tried to run up through it very quick. We tried to push up to that 2883, but we got rejected. I would watch if followed by a red candle here. This would be a bearish candle, as that's a long upper shadow. Long upper shadows show that bulls tried to run you up, but the bears gain control. It is green, so watch for a green candle next. If we get a green candle next, it could act as a hammer to push us up still. Momentum does want to pull back. It is starting to curl as that VWAP gains strength, so watch if VWAP can push on lower time frames. Money flow is green, so if that VWAP can break up, we could make a bounce here and get a bit of a bullish continuation. This is a lower high though, so watch for lower lows with lower highs from here. If we get lower lows with lower highs from here, we could start to kind of bleed our way downward. Over on the 1 hour, we are trying to retest that 300 EMA after ripping through it, so this does show when you get a volatile move, you do tend to pull back. This could be positive because we do have a gap above us, but we also have one below, so exercise caution. Stochastic is overall weakening. Our side does want to weaken. Momentum is dropping away. VWAP is favoring bearish. If that VWAP continues to favor bearish, momentum will continue to weaken. Money flow will remain red, and we will likely fill our lower gap first, which is the ideal move because we could make a higher low, fill a higher gap, and continue for a higher high for a bullish continuation later. So over on XRP for the daily, we are trying to bounce off our lower end of our channel. We did give retests of that channel. We did say to watch for that, so this could be positive if we can get some strong green candles to push us above that 54 and hold. VWAP does want to push up, momentum does want to gain strength, stochastic is starting to round forward, RSI is pushing forward, so we do look decent. Watch if we can make a double bottom here. If we can make a double bottom, that could help give us that bull flag kickoff and get us toward that 80 cent area. So over on the 1 hour here, we do have that inverted head and shoulders just like everything else, and we did try to push forward. We didn't get very much momentum off it. We got like a little bit of a break toward what would be the neckline and attempt to break forward, and we are getting a bit of a rejection. This could be worrisome as that could continue to push us down. Stochastic is starting to round away. We do have orange above blue, so that is a bearish cross, bringing our side down, and VWAP is breaking down, causing momentum to round with the red dot and pushing money flow into the red. If that VWAP continues to push down and favors bearish, we're likely going to make another retest of our bottom of our channel, and we could end up breaking away. We do have a slight gap on that 1 hour, so keep an eye on that. Over on ALGO for the daily, we do have an indecision candle here as well, so again, if followed by a strong green candle, we could see a rounding bottom to push us up, but if followed by a red candle, that could be what kicks off a breakdown from our rising channel possibility. Stochastic does want to pull back. We do have that orange above blue. RSI is starting to drop as a result, and that is bringing price lower. Our VWAP is favoring bearish. We do have lower lows, so watch for lower highs here. If we get lower highs and we stay below this neutral, momentum will continue lower. That blue wave would break below neutral, and money flow would remain in the red, showing that we have sell-off, and we would see continued bearish pressure. That would be what would help push us down. Over on the 1 hour, we are on the lower side of our EMA band. We are trying to retest our EMA band, so this is a critical zone. If we can get back into our EMA band and break above the 300, we could push forward, but we, much like XRP, didn't really get that inverse head and shoulders to play out. It didn't really form here either, so I would still exercise caution as this could end up rounding away. We do have higher highs with higher lows kind of trying to form here, but if you consider back here, this could be lower highs. We could have a bit of a symmetrical triangle, and in this zone, it would be a 50-50 pattern, so I wouldn't really trade on it. You would trade on the breakout anyways if you're doing proper pattern trading. This is a long lower shadow candle though, so if followed by a strong green candle, we could push up, but if we see a red candle, I would exercise caution as that would be a rejection of the EMA band, and that would be what would push us down. So we will cover DAG. We did not cover that yesterday. Again, if you have any special requests, drop them in the chat. Over on DAG, we did push up to the 300 EMA and we got a brutal rejection. So this is a long upper shadow candle. Our pattern technically could still be in play here. This may be some sort of a flag trying to form too, but it's really hard to draw this as a flag as it's not coming from a decent break up or breakdown unless you're considering this as part of the breakdown, which that could be pretty brutal. Our stochastic does want to round away, RSI is starting to pull back, momentum does want to round, that VWAP is in a bearish trend, and money flow is remaining in the red, so I would exercise caution and watch lower time frames. Over on the 1 hour, we are retesting our 300 EMA, so this is very important. We do have a slight gap to the upside, So I would watch, we could fill those gaps, try to run up. But if we reject this 300 EMA, then it's likely we will see this pattern still come into play and we could push down. RSI is overall weakening, so Cat6 flat. VWAP is trying to break a bullish trend, so watch that VWAP. If it can break neutral and hold and get significant waves like back here, we could attempt to make a bounce and continue forward. However, if that VWAP rejects, momentum will remain bearish, money flow will remain red, and we will continue lower. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I appreciate all of you. Have a great night.